Hello, this is Jo from Maths Tutor Me. Today we are starting a topic on decimals, and today we're going to be talking about the place value. So we refer to the numbers after a decimal point as the decimal places. So previously we have learned that we have ones, tens, hundreds and thousands. Okay, but at the end of a number sometimes we have a decimal point. And if we go to the right of the decimal point, we have tenths, hundredths, thousandths, and 10,000ths. Okay, so you'll see we're using a lot of the same words, tens, and we've got tenths over here. It's the same, but we have the TH on them. Now let me explain why that is. Now, a 1, in the ones position, it only has a value of 1. So we have 1, 1. Okay. When we go to the tens position, in this particular number here, we have a 3. That means we have 3 tens. The next number going up, we have in the hundreds position, that is 7 hundredths. Hundreds. Okay, and up to the thousands, we have 2 thousands. Okay, so now to go on the other side, and the reason we get the tenths name for this one is this 5 here is actually 5 over 10. That is how we could write that, 5 tenths. Okay, so the 9 is going to be in the hundredths position, and you probably guessed it, it will be over 100, 9 hundredths. The 6 is in the thousandths, so it'll be 6 over 1,000. And 4 will be in the 10,000s, so 4 over 10,000. Okay, now I've put these in fractional form. We could also put them in decimal form. So with my decimal point here in the middle, let's do the right hand side here first. Instead of writing 5 over 10, that will be the same as 0.5. 9 over 100, or the hundredths, is 0.09. 6 thousandths is 0.006. And 4 10,000ths, 0.004. Okay, and on the left hand side, we can write this as 1. I'm just going to put them in their tens value, so that'll be 30, 700, and 2,000. Okay, so we really want to focus on this part today. These things you've learnt before, but the decimal points, we can write them as fractions or we can write them as decimals. Okay, so we're going to be using this notation today with our questions. So let's have a look at the examples. Example number 1, what is the value of the 3 in each number? Okay, well here is our decimal point. So it's actually to the left of our decimal point. The ones, it's in the tens position. So I have 3 tens, okay? So its value is 30. For B, the value of the 3, here's my decimal point. This is the tenths. Hundredths. Okay, so I'm in the hundredths position for the 3. So I could write it as 3 hundredths, or I could write it as a fraction, 3 over 100, or even as a decimal, 0.03. Okay. For question 2, write 5 tens plus 2 hundredths plus 8 thousandths in expanded form. Okay, so expanded form is we want to have each of the different place values recognized here. So 5 tenths would have the value of 50. 2 hundredths, let's go with the fractional form for this. So that will be 2 over 100. Okay, plus 8 thousandths would be 8 over 1,000. So for B, we want to write this as a decimal number. So we can use our expanded form here to help us. We have 50 as our whole numbers to the left of the decimal point. Then once we go to these positions here, we're going to need to go past the decimal point. So we don't have any tenths. So we're going to have to put a 0 down for tenths. But we do have 2 hundredths, and then we have 8 thousandths. Okay, on to question 3. Write the following in decimal form. That's just what we've been doing. We have 30 plus 9 plus 4 over 10 plus 7 over 1,000. So we have 30 plus 9 is 39. Decimal point then. 4 tenths would be 0.4. Now we're missing hundredths in here. So we need to put a 0 for the hundredths, and then we have 7 thousandths. For question 4, we want to write each number as a decimal. So we have 1 whole at the front of the fraction here. So 1 whole, and we have 9 thousandths. So we need the 9 to be in the thousandths position. So tens, hundredths, and the 9 in the thousandths. B is written a little bit differently. We have 317 over 100. Now, if you were to think 317, we have 3 whole hundreds in that. So 3 would be my whole number out the front. And then I would still have 17 hundredths, which would be 1 tenth and 7 hundredths, like that. So 3.17. Another way to think about it is when you divide by 100 is you have a pretend decimal point here at the end, and you have 2 zeros, so you jumped back 2 places to get 3.17. Okay, question 5, complete the pattern. 0.43, 0.46, and 0.49. So we can basically count up by 43, see how to get to 46, and then on to 49. So we go 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. We're going up by 3, which is actually 3 tens hundredths, isn't it? Okay, so I need to add a 0.03. 0.03 is what we're adding on to each one of these. So all I have to do though is count from 49 here. I need to count 3 more up. 49, 50 would be 1, 52, 53. So that means 0. I counted too many. 0.52. Then count 3 more. 52, 53, 54, 55. Then 3 more. 56, 57, 58. So 0.58. Okay. So that's the end of our examples today. Time for you to have a practice. So these questions are just like my examples. I'd like you to pause the video, try each of these questions, and then restart to see the answers. So for question 1, we want to find the value of the 7 in each of the following. So my decimal point is here, my 7 is over here, so it's in the ones, tens, hundredths position. So that could have the value of 700. You could write that in words if you want, or as a number, 700. For B, 0.358. For B, I have 3.758. The 7 is right here, so it is in the tenths position. So 7 tenths, or that could be written as 7 over 10. Question 2, write 4 hundredths plus 1 tenth in expanded form. 400 is written like this, plus 1 tenth is 1 over 10. As a decimal, we would have 400 point, and as a tenth, we'd have 1 here, 400.1. Question 3, write 2 thousands plus 8 ones plus 3 hundredths in expanded form. So 2 thousands would be 2,000. 8 ones, so plus 8, plus 3/100ths, so 3/100. Now to write that as a decimal number, we have 2008. So we have no hundreds or tens, so it's just 2008. Point, now these are hundredths, so there's no tenths, just hundredths like that. Question 4, write the following in decimal form. 5 is my whole number out the front of the decimal point. Then I have 1/10 and 2/100ths. Question 5, write each number as a decimal. 17 is my whole number at the front of the decimal point. Then I have 8/100ths, so no tenths. The 8 is in the hundredths position. Question B here, the 2 is the whole number. Now 36/100ths would be 0.36 like that. And 54/10 would be 5.4. All right, for question 6, completing the pattern, 1.5, 1.7, 1.9, we are going up by 0.2, okay? So we could ignore the decimal point for a minute and think of this as 15, 17, and 19. So if I count on 2 more, I would have 20, 21, so that'd be 2.1. 22, 23, 24, 25, like that, and just put the decimal points in. All right, so hopefully you got those answers. That's the end of our lesson today. Keep practicing and join me next time. Bye.